Do you really know your cat? Sure, you share a roof, you give him evening cuddles, and you spoil him with toys. But what if I told you that half of what you think you know about your feline friend is completely wrong? We tend to rely on old wives' tales and cartoon cliches. We think we're doing what's best, but sometimes we're actually harming the creatures we love the most. Today, we're taking off the rose-tinted glasses. We're going to tackle the 7 most persistent, popular, and frankly dangerous myths about cats. Some of these are just funny little quirks, but others could actually be shortening your pet's life. Ready to hear the truth, even if you might not like it? Let's dive in. Cats are easily one of the most enigmatic creatures on the planet. They've been living alongside us for thousands of years, yet they still manage to maintain a certain aloof mystery. The ancient Egyptians revered them as sacred guides to the afterlife. Conversely, during the Middle Ages, they were demonized and associated with dark magic. This history of extremes created a huge body of folklore surrounding them. Without modern science or veterinary medicine, people desperately tried to explain their strange behavior. That's how these myths, passed down through generations, were born. The problem is, the world has changed. We now live in an age of evidence-based medicine and zoopsychology. Continuing to believe that your cat heals diseases just by lying on a sore spot, or that he pees in your shoes out of spite, that's not just naive anymore, it's irresponsible. From now on, we're going to rely only on scientific facts and feline biology. Let's start with the most classic image, one that is practically woven into our cultural DNA. Myth number 1. Cats love milk, and it's good for them. Think about any children's book. You always see a kitten happily lapping up a saucer of cream or milk. We automatically assume this is the perfect dinner for our furry friend. But let's look at this through the lens of biology. Milk is fundamentally baby food. Nature designed it exclusively for nourishing offspring during the first few weeks of life. A mother cat's milk contains a unique blend of proteins and fats, specifically necessary for a kitten, not for a fully grown adult animal. As a kitten grows, its body changes dramatically. By around 3 to 4 months of age, most mammals, and cats are no exception, stop producing lactase. Remember that word, lactase. This is the specific enzyme responsible for breaking down lactose, or milk sugar. What actually happens when you give an adult cat full-fat cow's milk? He'll happily lap it up because the smell of fat and protein is so attractive. But internally, a minor catastrophe is brewing. Because adult cats lack the enzyme lactase, the milk sugar, or lactose, can't be digested in the stomach. Instead, it travels straight into the large intestine, undigested, where a heavy fermentation process begins. This causes excessive gas, painful bloating, cramping, and very often results in severe diarrhea. Imagine eating something you have a harsh allergy or severe intolerance to. It's absolutely miserable, right? Your cat is feeling exactly that. But he can't tell you, "Owner, my stomach is churning, please stop giving me this." He just suffers in silence, and you, seeing the empty bowl, will just assume everything is totally fine. Granted, the world isn't strictly black and white. Some cats do retain the ability to digest lactose well into adulthood. It's a genetic lottery. However, even if your feline is one of those rare exceptions, cow's milk is still completely unnecessary. It's loaded with excessive calories, sugar, and frankly, the wrong balance of nutrients for an obligate carnivore. Giving your cat milk regularly is a straight shot to obesity, liver issues, and metabolic disorders. If you are truly determined to treat your beloved pet with a white drink, you can buy specialised lactose-free pet milk from a reputable store. That is generally safe, but the best option of all is simply to pour them a bowl of fresh, clean water. Trust me, high-quality water is the only liquid your cat truly needs. Forget those images of sources of milk from storybooks. In reality, they just cause harm. Let's move on to the second myth, one that frequently costs cats their lives. This is the myth that cats always land on their feet and can survive any fall unharmed. This myth is why veterinarians coined the term high-rise syndrome. It's true that cats possess a truly unique vestibular system. Think of it as a built-in natural gyroscope located in their inner ear. When a cat falls, it instantly orients itself, knowing exactly which way is up. Thanks to an incredibly flexible spine and the lack of a collarbone, it can rotate 180 degrees midair in just a fraction of a second. The rotation process starts with the head, followed by the front paws, and finally, the hindquarters swing into position. It then arches its back and splays out its limbs, creating a parachute effect to slow the descent. It truly looks like magic. And unfortunately, this amazing ability is why people carelessly leave their windows open, even on the 10th floor. But physics can't be fooled. This reflex, however, has its strict limitations. The first factor is height. Paradoxically, a fall from the 3rd or 4th floor is often more dangerous than one from the 7th. Why? Because when falling from a lower altitude, the cat simply doesn't have enough time to execute the turning reflex. It fails to complete its rotation and hits the ground sideways or on its back. This often leads to severe internal organ damage and devastating spinal fractures. But even extreme height doesn't guarantee safety. A falling body speed increases only up to a certain point. An impact from the 9th floor, hitting concrete or asphalt, even if the cat lands on all 4 paws, is a colossal strain on the skeleton. The bones in the legs simply cannot withstand the impact and will shatter. Furthermore, due to inertia, the cat's lower jaw often strikes the ground first, resulting in fractured jaws and traumatic brain injuries. Then there's the sheer unpredictability of it all. Cats often fall not because they intentionally jumped, but because they slipped. They were probably stalking a fly or a little bird on the ledge. The moment they lose their footing, they might panic or snag a claw, sending them spiralling incorrectly. Plus, many indoor cats carry extra weight. A heavier cat drops like a stone, and no amount of aerodynamics can help them. The belief that your cat is some kind of superhero who can survive any fall is nothing short of criminal negligence. Cat-safe screens on your windows are not a luxury or an optional accessory. They are a fundamental, mandatory safety rule. Don't test your cat's luck. It runs out much faster than you think. Myth number 3. A purring cat is a happy cat. This is arguably the most widespread and persistent misconception when we try to interpret feline behaviour. We are wired to think in simple parallels. If a dog wags its tail, it's delighted. If a cat starts to purr, everything must be fine. We pet our feline friends, hear that familiar, cosy, rumbling sound, and instantly relax. However, the cat's purr is a far more complex and nuanced mechanism. It's not simply a sign of contentment, it's a sophisticated tool for communication and self-soothing. While cats absolutely purr when they feel comfortable and safe, they also use this sound in moments of extreme stress, intense fear, and severe pain. Veterinarians frequently hear loud purring when examining severely injured or traumatized animals. Cats purr during labor when they are experiencing great distress, and heartbreakingly, even dying cats often purr during their final minutes. Researchers have proposed a fascinating theory to explain this phenomenon. Studies have shown that a cat's purr ranges in frequency from 25 to 150 Hz. These specific sound frequencies are the exact ones used in physical therapy to accelerate the healing of bones and tendons, as well as to relieve pain. This suggests that purring is actually a mechanism for self-healing. The cat essentially activates an internal vibrator or massager to calm its nervous system and kickstart regeneration within its body. It's their way of saying, I don't feel well and I'm trying to soothe myself. So, if your cat is huddled in a corner, trembling, refusing food, yet still purring loudly, it is not a sign that everything is fine. It's a cry for help. So how do you tell the difference between a happy purr and a healing purr? Always pay attention to the context and body language. You can't read a cat based solely on the sound it makes. If your cat is stretched out on your lap, paws relaxed, eyes half closed, kneading slowly with her claws, that's pure contentment. But if she's tense, ears pinned back, pupils dilated wide, and her tail is twitching nervously, that's stress. When purring happens in this context, it's the cat trying to create a cocoon of safety around itself. Be highly observant of the details. Your ability to read these nuances could potentially save your pet's life or health, especially if you notice that pain is hiding beneath that little song. Let's start with the fourth myth, which revolves around cats' supposedly superhuman eyesight. The myth is that cats can see perfectly in pitch-black conditions. Many owners genuinely believe their pets have built-in, military-grade, night vision goggles. When we switch off the lights at night, we imagine the room remains just as bright for them as it is during the day. Well, that's not exactly the case. Cats cannot see in absolute darkness. Just like us, they need light photons to see. If you were to put a cat in a hermetically sealed room, with no light whatsoever, it would be just as blind as a human. However, their eyes are definitely structured differently. They only need about 1/6 the amount of light we require to distinguish objects. That tiny bit of residual light, from the moon shining through the window, or even just the charging indicator on your TV, is more than enough for them to navigate. The key to their incredible night vision is the tapetum lucidum. It's a specialized layer of cells located right behind the retina, and it works just like a mirror. When light enters the eye, it passes through the retina, hits the tapetum, reflects, and then passes back through the retina a second time. This gives the photoreceptors a crucial double chance to capture that information. The tapetum is exactly why cats' eyes appear to glow back at you with that spooky green or yellow light when hit by a flashlight beam in the dark. It's simply reflection. But there is a drawback, or a flip side to the coin. During the day, cats actually see worse than we do. They perceive fewer colours, and their overall visual field is much less sharp than ours. Their entire vision system is optimized for tracking movement in low light and twilight, not for scrutinizing fine details under the bright sun. But how do they manage to race around the apartment at night without running straight into things, even when it's pitch black? That's where vibrissae come into play, what we simply call whiskers. These aren't just long, decorative hairs. They are high-precision navigation tools. Vibrissae are loaded with an incredible number of nerve endings and have their own dedicated areas in the brain. Cats use them to sense the slightest shifts in air pressure. When a cat approaches an obstacle, the air compresses, and the whiskers detect this change. Before any physical contact is made, it's literally like they are feeling the space around them remotely. That's why a cat can navigate perfectly well, even with its eyes closed. So the myth is only partially true. The eyes might need light, but the whiskers act like a built-in radar system, functioning perfectly in absolute darkness. Myth number 5, the idea that a cat has 9 lives and can just heal itself. You've probably heard the common belief that a cat will simply bounce back from anything. This is an incredibly dangerous misconception that costs thousands of pets their lives every single year. Cats are masters of camouflage. In the wild, a predator simply cannot afford to show weakness. If a cat shows a limp or hints at stomach pain, they risk becoming prey for a larger animal or losing their essential territory. This is why cats have evolutionarily adapted to endure pain silently. They don't whine or howl like dogs do. They never complain. Instead, their symptoms are subtle. They might become a bit less active, sleep longer, or start hiding away in a closet or under a bed. And their owners often just brush it off, thinking, "Oh, it's just the weather," or "he's just tired," or "he's getting old." This habit of hiding pain often backfires badly in a home setting. By the time an owner notices something is wrong, say the cat stops eating, or there's blood in the litter box, the disease is often already in its advanced stages. Their kidneys can fail, tumours can grow massive, and teeth can rot down to the roots, all while the cat keeps up the facade that everything is perfectly normal. They only get one life, just one, and it is incredibly fragile. Their bodies certainly don't have Wolverine's regenerative healing factor. Wounds can easily fester, bones can heal improperly, and infections can be fatal in just a matter of days. Relying on the hope that things will just get better is a critical, often fatal, mistake. Any change in behaviour should be a major cause for alarm, not an opportunity to reassure yourself with myths about feline resilience. Myth number 6. Cats are solitary animals who hate socializing. We are used to contrasting them with dogs. Dogs are man's best friend, while cats are often viewed as the animal that walks by itself. A lot of people adopt a cat specifically because they believe this. Just leave it alone for a couple of days, dump a huge pile of food in the bowl, and it won't even register that you're gone. That is a huge mistake. Yes, biologically, cats are solitary hunters. They certainly don't need a pack to take down a mouse, but they are profoundly social animals. They absolutely require interaction, affection, and contact. Domestic cats form extremely deep bonds with their human owners. They simply express that love differently than dogs do. It's not the massive, frantic celebration at the front door. It's a quiet, reassuring presence right beside you. Left alone too long, cats truly suffer from boredom and depression. This is known as separation anxiety, and it is far more common in felines than we realise. A cat stuck alone all day in an empty apartment is essentially going stir-crazy. This is where you get shredded furniture, knocked over plants, and accidents outside the litter box. It's not revenge, it's simply a desperate attempt to get your attention or to release pent-up stress. Your cat needs playtime. They need interaction. They need affection. If you ignore your pet's emotional needs, you end up with a withdrawn, aggressive, or deeply unhappy animal. The myth of their independence is nothing more than a convenient excuse for lazy owners. And now for the seventh and final myth, the danger cats pose to pregnant women. The moment a family announces a pregnancy, half the relatives start screaming, "Get rid of the cat! It's toxoplasmosis! The baby will be born sick." This panic often escalates to the point where beloved pets are abandoned or even euthanized. Let's take a calm look at the facts. Toxoplasmosis is indeed a dangerous disease for the fetus. However, the cat is far from the main enemy here. Yes, cats are the definitive host for this parasite, but catching it from your own indoor pet is incredibly difficult, provided you maintain basic hygiene. For a cat to infect you with toxoplasmosis, you would literally have to ingest its feces that have been sitting in the litter box for more than 24 hours. That period of time is crucial. It's how long the parasite needs to mature and become infectious. If you scoop the litter box every day, the risk essentially drops to zero. If you delegate this task to another family member, there is absolutely no risk at all. The chance of contracting toxoplasmosis is far, and I emphasize, far, higher from eating undercooked meat, handling unwashed vegetables straight from the garden, or working in contaminated soil without gloves. Statistics consistently show that the vast majority of infections occur through food, not through contact with animals. An indoor cat that doesn't eat raw meat and never goes outside may not even carry the toxoplasma parasite. The solution is simple. Get your cat tested, get yourself tested, and sleep soundly. Don't abandon your friend because of outdated myths and unnecessary scaremongering. Another aspect of this myth suggests that cats will suffocate a baby because they are attracted to the smell of milk. This is absolute nonsense. Cats love warmth. They might lie down right next to the baby, or even attempt to lie on them, purely because the child is a source of heat. But they are not sucking the breath out, nor are they intentionally suffocating anyone. Naturally, you should never leave an infant unsupervised with any animal, but that rule applies to every pet, whether it's a cat, a dog, or even a parrot. A little bit of common sense and basic caution solve all these issues. Cats and children can become the best of friends, provided you introduce them properly and don't panic over foolish superstitions. Debunking these common myths isn't just some intellectual exercise, it fundamentally impacts your pet's quality of life. When we stop treating our cats with milk, install safety screens on the windows, commit to evening playtime, and meticulously monitor their health, we are extending their lives by years. We transform mere coexistence into a genuine and profound friendship. Understanding a cat's true nature, its specific needs, and its unique body language opens up a completely new level of relationship. You stop being just housemates, or worse, the hired help. You become true partners, And trust me, a grateful, healthy, and truly understood cat will repay you with more love than any myth maker could ever possibly imagine. So, that wraps up the 7 biggest myths keeping you and your cat from living your best lives together. We learned that milk is actually harmful, not a harmless treat. That an open window is a death trap, not some kind of feline TV. We found out that a purr can sometimes be a cry for help, and that the idea of 9 lives is a beautiful metaphor that often comes at the cost of their actual health. Now you're armed with knowledge. Look at your furry friend through a new lens. Right now, check their water bowl, ensure the screens on your windows are secure, and just take 10 minutes to play with them. It truly is the best thing you can do today. Thank you for watching all the way through and for choosing to become a more informed pet parent. If you found this video helpful, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Give this video a like so the algorithms share it with other cat owners. Let's save some feline lives together. And let me know in the comments, which of these myths surprised you the most? Were you one of the people who believed that cats can see in pitch black? Let's start a discussion.